Hi, this is Pushkraj Shirke and welcome to another episode of Project Battlefit. Today we are going to be discussing, do I need functional training? This is my pet peeve, alright? Functional training is a word that gets thrown around everywhere. Like gyms sell that crap, trainers sell that crap, especially trainers who are not qualified to do shit sell that crap, and now there are fitness academies selling that crap. Okay, why do I call it crap? Okay, let's get to this. Without defining function, how do you define functional training? Most often, when trainers don't know what they are doing in the gym, they call it functional training. Oh, I'm going to grab a ball, give it to my client, and make him swing it from here to there and here to there and move it over his head, drop it on the floor, jump down, grab it, throw it up again, jump down, grab it, throw it up again, and shit like that. What do I call this? What purpose is it? No, it's functional training. Then I grab a sissy little poor girl who doesn't know shit about functional training or what it is, but sounds fancy, make her stand on a Bosu ball while she's vibrating around on it and do a squat and call it functional training. What is a function fucking training for? Squatting in an earthquake? Right? So, very simply, I'm sorry, I really get agitated on this topic because it is my pet peeve. Functional training is only functional if you have defined the function. Okay? Without defining function, how can you call anything functional training? Yes, there is general physical preparedness, okay, which is being able to do your daily tasks, and that is as functional as it gets for common people who are not involved in the sport. That is functional training for them, the general physical preparedness, and that comes through your basic strength and conditioning drills. So honestly speaking, squat, bench, deadlift and overhead press is as functional as it can get. Alright, so that is your core competency of functional training. Everything else is just a gimmick. Now, when you come to sport-specific functional training, that is the only place where I value functional training. Once you know your function, when you know what you're supposed to enhance, and then you target that with specific activities, that I understand. But even there, I draw a huge line between marketing bullshit and what actually works for athletes. Alright? Apart from your general strength training, alright, the problem with classical strength training is that you only stick to linear movements, which is up, down, front, back. You're always moving in a straight line, either up or down. So on a complete axis, you miss the transverse axis almost completely. So yes, if I have to give a common person a little more exercises rather than basic strength training, I would give him a bunch of kettlebell drills or cross-axial movement drills that also work on cross-axial and cross-mobility movements. Alright? That is where it gets functional. For athletes, this becomes even more specific. Alright? But I wouldn't catch an athlete and make him do functional drills every day. Alright? Because as an athlete, you will get better at your skill doing exactly what it is you do. Skills make skills better. Running makes a runner a better runner. Yes, you can strengthen the leg muscles, you can strengthen the glutes, you can strengthen the hamstring, you can strengthen the quads, strengthen the calves, you can improve the posture, you can strengthen the back. Okay? But you cannot improve running by just moving your legs like this in the air. Okay? You call that functional? Oh, this is functional training for running? No, it's not. Okay? If I'm training an athlete, I always make sure that the base foundation is strength training. If an athlete is lifting 4 times in a week, 3 times a week, he'll be doing pure classical strength training and conditioning. 1 day a week, he'll be doing purely cross-axial movements and sport-specific movements that help in his particular sport or his weakness for his sport. Alright? For example, take judo, since I've done a bit of judo. There are a lot of movements where you are moving your body cross from the hip. That in classical strength training is majorly ignored. The cross movement is majorly ignored. So your chances at getting stronger at that become very high. Alright? The best way to drill that is do more of that while you're training. But what happens when you're not training? While you're training, the problem is there are a lot of uncontrollable factors. Like your training partner's weight may vary, you might not always find the perfect balance. It's not a controlled scenario. We can only focus on strengthening those group of muscles. So you're leaving too much to variables, alright? But while you're strength training or while you're training in the gym, you're training to improve that specific function. Then you make it a completely controlled set. You do not go haphazard. That's exactly what you want to avoid when you're training. You do not go haphazard. You take that one movement and you drill it. For example, when you're throwing, you have to maintain and move only those group of muscles. So you're constantly targeting them. Will you get better at throwing doing that exercise? No. Only actually throwing will make you better at throwing. That movement will strengthen those muscles that enable throwing. For example, for a fast bowler, okay, the shoulder gets involved, the bicep and tricep get involved, the lower back also gets involved because the drive comes through the leg, through the hip, then up to the shoulders. So you need to train the entire linear stretch of muscles, not only the arm going round and round, and call it functional training. Okay? Once you have incorporated all the muscles involved for a specific function, then you can call it functional training for that particular function. Okay? And this is why I loathe gyms and trainers and celebrities marketing functional training. Functional training is a whole load of bull crap, and you do not need functional training unless you have already defined your function and you know exactly what you want to get good at. And even that, you will only get good at that particular function not only through functional training, but by actually repeatedly doing that function over and over and over again. Practice makes perfect, and that's the ultimate in functional training if you want to really get to the base of it. This is what I have to say about it. I'm open to your opinions, I'm open to your discussions. If you don't agree with me on this topic, feel free to write back to me or tell me your opinion on it, and I'll be happy to discuss it. You can reach me at Project Battlefit on YouTube, Facebook and Instagram, and any other questions you might have regarding this topic or any other, I'll be happy to solve it for you on the channel. Thank you for sticking around. This is Project Battlefit signing out.